get some good feedback on Tevin's day today?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, you can get all the verbal feedback you want, but the visual will tell you everything you need to know. I mean, you can see it. You know, you have 3 years of it too. So I think today was just a confirmation of what the people in this building and myself already knew.
Everybody knew he was already fast. Do you think he helped himself by the crispness that he ran the pass routes, and it seemed like he caught everything that was catchable?
Yeah, I mean, Tevin is a superb athlete, all around athlete. I mean, you're talking about a kid who was recruited not only as a running back but as a corner by a Big Ten school and as a receiver. So I mean, none of it is a surprise to me. You know, it was good to see him come back off of the surgery, get out, run hard. Only been running hard for the last couple of weeks. We talked at length at dinner last night about what's his mindset. I knew it was good. I'm excited to see him get out there today.
How gratifying is it for you, and not only just today, but in a few weeks when he gets drafted? Because you guys really been hand in hand in this process getting him to this point.
Yes, I mean I'm excited about it. Me and Tevin talked about this years ago. Me and his dad and his mom talking about what opportunities could be there if he comes in and does the thing he should do, and he put confidence in me and in our system, and it's going to be good to see it climax with him being drafted. Now the big next step starts after that. What you going to do then? That's what we've been talking about. What happens after that? And I think he's up for that challenge for sure.
Did you give him? I know you played local. You had some time in the NFL. You played. Have you talked to him? I know it's maybe a little bit different now, but have you talked to him about what to expect? And it's you obviously did a lot different than college. It's pros. They're not going to make you come if you don't come here. They just cut you.
Last night at 9:30 when we left from dinner, all right, and we sat right here in the parking lot right up here, and we sat in the car for around a half hour just talking about that subject and stuff. About, hey man, it's a job. You ain't got class, you ain't got any other things. It's a job. And he's up for that because he treated the circumstance here like it was a job. He came to meetings every day with a workman's attitude, to get after it. And I said, hey, it's just a little bit higher stakes. It's big business. I said, but you've prepared yourself mentally and physically to handle that circumstance.
It sounded like he got hurt initially in the North Texas game, but really I don't think wanted anybody to know, maybe except for you. Could you kind of take us through that process, how that went, like when it was sore, when it was really sore?
Yeah, well, he got dinged in North Texas. So I meet with him a couple of times a week. He come up to my office and we just talking, and he's just talking about his toe, and he downplayed it a fair amount, but I was aware of it. So I made sure that in practice we didn't overdo him, especially, I'm like, hey, why ding a guy even more in practice? It didn't make sense. But then as Penn State came, he got tweaked up pretty bad in that game. And continued to play on. Going into Rutgers week, became more noticeable to me. And obviously me and him have been talking about it. He said, man, it's bothering me a little bit more now. So we discussed getting it shot up. And part of that process, you got to get an MRI. He got the MRI. We found out actually on the way, it might have been on the way to Rutgers when I got there. I think it was before we went there, whatever. That he had some damage in there, needed surgery. So once Tevin knew that, the first person he came to was me. He went to have a private meeting with me, and we met, up in New Jersey about the situation. And, went through with the positives and negatives of it. And I said, look, you really can't do nothing worse to it. He said, what do you think I should do, Coach? I said, man, I think you should go ahead and roll. And he started smiling. He said, I'm going to go ahead and go. So he had 300 yards that game.
Yeah, and 250 plus against the national champions.
Exactly. He came back on a mission. And I said, look, just fight through. Yeah, you've shown some things that, up to this point, if he was to stop there, I said, yeah, you've shown some things that show well for you as far as the next level. I said, well, let's go ahead and finish the season. Now, I know my strong advice was sooner the season and get surgery, like get it immediately. So and that's pretty much what happened.
Well, it was a well-kept secret because couldn't even, no one was seeing him limping publicly or anything.
Do you notice more explosiveness now that he's healthy?
No.
Tevin had a season for the ages. If he was 100%, could that have been that much better? Or
yeah, I know from watching tape in there. I'm sitting there looking. That's my guy. I know what he can do. And down the stretch, I'm like, okay, yeah, he would have planted different on this. He would have made a different cut on that. You know, so I don't have a problem going out on a limb and saying he left. You know, he left a couple hundred yards on the table.
pretty
It probably,
amazing.
and it probably was attributed to how he was feeling.
He certainly probably